Hello and welcome to Speed Campaigning with the Palm Coast Observer. I'm Brian McMillan, the newspaper's editor, and I'm here with Troy DuBose, who is running for Palm Coast City Council, District 1. Hello, Troy. Welcome to the show here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, great. We're going to do this in 3 segments. First is the big picture, then we're going to do a speed round where the answer has to be in the form of a number, and then take 2 where Troy can give an explanation of a couple of his previous answers. So let's get started. First of all, Troy, how old are you and how many years have you lived in Flagler County?
I am 42 years old. I've lived in Flagler County for 4 years.
Okay. And what is the thing you've accomplished that makes you feel most qualified for the City Council?
That's a tough one because I'm an entrepreneur. I've done a lot of different things. I've been involved in construction projects, owned a small equipment rental business for a while. I've also been involved in internet and startup companies. I still own 2 of those that my wife and I work. But being involved in all those businesses, there's always problems and issues. And so you have to identify what those problems are and then fix those. A lot of times I have to become my own graphic designer. A lot of times I've got to do 3D modeling and design that way. Sometimes I have to, if I want to expand my business, I have to look at different markets, I have to identify those markets, which ones I'm going to go into, how I'm going to get in there. So I'm constantly educating myself. There's always an issue, there's always a problem that I might not know. So I have to find the solutions to those problems in order to get my business to grow. I think that's what I bring to Palm Coast City Council, is the ability to identify those problems and think outside the box and find ways to fix those.
Okay, great. And if you are elected, what are your 3 top priorities?
Well, I know it's a hot topic. It's on everyone's tip of everyone's tongue, but jobs are a big one. I'd like to see Palm Coast. I'd like to see us bolster the atmosphere in Palm Coast to attract even more tech companies, which are great, but also to attract small manufacturing and also startup businesses. You know, the atmosphere here and the quality of life. The atmosphere here that exists for entrepreneurs to come and start something, that's what attracted my wife and I and our family to this area. I just like to see that bolstered so that we can attract more businesses and variety of businesses, because not one, you know, as we graduate students from high schools and college, not one particular industry fits all those needs, so we need to make sure we have multiple industries available.
Okay, so jobs first priority?
Jobs first priority. On the back of that, I would say we need to look at the current businesses that we have in town, and are we doing everything we can do to bolster those businesses to make sure they're thriving here in Palm Coast? Is there something we can do more of? Is there something we need to do less of? I think we can all agree that if a business is struggling in town and winds up going under, that's not something any of us want to see, and it also causes concern for other businesses that might want to move in. The third thing, as Palm Coast grows and gets larger, everyone's talking about that, how much we're growing. Real estate's doing well. As our numbers grow and we get larger, I think we need to keep our eye on the things that attracted people to Palm Coast. We need to make sure our roadways stay great. We need to make sure we maintain all our bike paths. We need to make sure we maintain our parks, and basically keep an eye on the quality of life that attracted us here to Palm Coast to begin with.
Okay, well that's the big picture with Troy DuBose, and next will be the speed round. So I'm going to read 11 statements, and I want you to answer on a scale of 1 to 10 how much you agree with it. 1, completely disagree. 10, you completely agree with this statement.
Okay.
So how much do you agree with this? The city and county governments have a good working relationship.
I'm going to go with a 6 on that one.
There is a duplication of service with fire EMS between the city and the county.
3.
The city and county should consolidate fire EMS, even if it might mean putting the county in charge as the lead agency.
3.
The city will need to raise taxes to meet the needs of its citizens in the next 4 years.
4.
The city charter should be reviewed by a committee of citizens.
4.
City council members' salaries are too low and should be raised to the level of a full-time worker.
I'm going to go with 2.
And the city manager position has the right amount of authority to make the city run smoothly.
9.
Jim Landon is doing a good job at the city manager position for Palm Coast.
6.
Hiring Buxton to recruit retailers was money well spent.
2.
The city's code enforcement department is too strict.
I think I'll go with a 6 on that one.
And the last statement is the city is doing a good job at being friendly to businesses.
I'll go on a 6 on that one as well.
Okay, so that's the speed round. Now you have one more shot at this. This is take 2, where you can revisit a couple of those topics and give a little explanation.
Okay. I'll go back to the salaries one.
Okay.
You know, I'm getting involved here because this is where I've chosen to raise my family. This is where I've chosen to do business. Since being involved in the community, meeting people through the chamber, I realize the importance of being actively involved. So I'm doing this to give back to the community that's given, you know, back to me. So it's not about the money. It's about giving back to the community, and everyone should be involved in some capacity, whether it's in a volunteer capacity or whether they want to be on a committee, but in the shaping of Palm Coast. I mean, this is our future.
Okay. Any other ones?
The other one, I can't remember what number it was.
Yeah.
I'll do the hiring of Buxton to recruit retailers.
Okay.
I think all that was accomplished by that was to find out the matrices that were, you know, that are required by franchises. I would have much rather have spent some of that money on city staff to be able to reach out to relocation companies that are basically in charge of finding and bringing companies to Palm Coast. I think the money would have been better spent there. I mean, we're all trying to attract business. We all want to increase the tax revenue here by bringing businesses in. So I think it would have been better spent that way.
Okay, very good. Well, we have that's Troy DuBose. Again, he's running for Palm Coast City Council District 1. On August 4th, you'll get an election guide in your driveway where you can compare all the candidates' answers. And don't forget to vote in the primary on August 30th. Thank you very much.